Okay, it's recording. It should be charging as well. Did you? I guess so. Plug it in. It's probably fine, and otherwise, hey, it is what it is. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna first open a cold wrecker of ham again. It's your second this vacation.
Hell yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Heck yeah, I should say.
Welcome to the second episode of the Wherever podcast. That's the name I came up with because we can record it
Wherever.
Whoa, insane mechanics here. Yeah, I'm gonna grab my phone actually. So if you just talk a little bit about like something, I'm gonna grab Polar Steps.
So it's been a week since we recorded the last one. I think we recorded that on the Friday night, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, and today is it?
Today it is the Friday night too, so it's been a week.
This schedule is insane.
Other than last time, it actually has been a full week because last time it has only been 6 days and we had been driving most of the time. I'm filling up space right here.
Yeah, you're doing it perfectly.
So, yeah, it's going to be interesting and we thought that we maybe would have less to share about the second week, but guess what? It's probably
more interesting
than last week. So,
yeah, so okay, let me check if I'm doing this correctly. Yeah, so the last time we recorded was at the Super Muddy Lake.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? That's where we record.
Beautiful spot.
Beautiful spot.
Awful place to swim.
Yeah, but that's the last one, and the next day was instantly Leeuwhammer.
Yeah.
So I think I will leave that up to you. Why did we decide to go to Leeuwhammer?
Well, initially we wanted to go to the open air museum. That was the initial.
Well, you wanted to go.
Yeah, I just looked up some things to do in Norway, and it said to go to the open air museum in Leeuwhammer. So we wanted to go there, and then my brother said that there's the ski jumping arena, I think it's called.
Yeah. So Leeuwhammer was it like the guest house? No, I don't know what it's meant. Like they kept the 2016 Olympic.
Yeah, it also the 1988, I think it was.
Yeah, something like that. But they kept I don't know what it's called, like ski jumping when you go like a super high piste.
Yeah, it's just ski jumping.
It's called ski jumping?
Yeah.
Okay, in Dutch it's gansspringen.
Yeah.
It took me a little bit to not relate it to ganzen, which is goose. For some reason I always thought it was something to do with that because they fly.
Yeah.
That's something else. So how was the open air museum?
We didn't go there.
Oh, didn't we?
So the first day we actually arrived and we wanted to go see the ski jumping arena. So we went there, and before we actually went there, we went through like a nature area.
I think that's actually the coolest bit of
that was day. The best bit about Leeuwhammer. It was the way up to the ski jumping arena because we parked the car in the city center next to the hospital. And we walked all the way up to the ski jumping arena.
So I'm the kind of guy that if I'm in a city, I normally just walk everywhere. Why? Because I am in a city that I've never been to.
Yeah.
So I like to explore the city by feet.
Yeah.
That said, Leeuwhammer itself isn't interesting at all.
No, it was pretty dead.
Yeah, it was like Copenhagen level of dead. And this was on a Saturday, the first time we were there.
But at least you had a view in Leeuwhammer because it's a city built on a slope.
Yeah, and next to a lake. So the position of the city is super cool, actually.
Yeah.
But
the lake is so long that it actually looks like a really broad river. But it was pretty. The view was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we walked up to the ski jumping arena, and
at a certain point there was a small road on the side, which in first thought I thought that it was a mountain bike path.
Yeah.
The thing going down, but it was either walking on asphalt or walking on that one. So I decided to walk on the mountain bike road, but it wasn't a mountain bike road, it wasn't a hike kind of.
It just ended up being a hike path, and we walked there and there were some waterfalls, and we just climbed up, and there were small kind of
not lakes,
it's not a lake, it's kind of a spring, I guess, a natural spring kind of thing.
So where the waterfall went down, you had I think 2 times where there wasn't like an actual, like a small, well, let's call it a small lake or a puddle where you could swim in. And when we went up, I already said to Janik, I want to swim here.
Yeah.
I always have a spare pair of underwear. So
Yeah.
that's the most important thing. Why do you wear them? Either you shit yourself, or if you want to swim somewhere, you can just swim in your underwear and then you can put on
Replace
another
them.
pair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also a pair of socks, because I don't like
Having
wet socks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the worst.
So on the way up, we already decided to swim there, but we first wanted to go to the ski piste.
Yeah, ski jumping arena.
Yeah.
So we went there and we climbed about 1,000 steps.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 936 if I remember correctly.
Actually, I don't know.
Probably.
I just rushed it.
Just Google it if you want to. And it was cool. It has a really nice view, but that's it. Like you're there. It has a nice view, and then you're going down again. It's more,
how you would imagine walking up a long staircase.
Yeah, it's like whenever you see it on TV, you can say, "Oh, I've been there and I walked all those stairs, and that's it. That's all the
there's
enjoyment
nothing
you'll get
about-
out of
yeah.
it."
There's nothing fun about it. If you're up there, there's nothing. If you're down there, there's nothing. Like that's it.
It's
I
like
think.
something I can tell my grandparents. Like we went there and we walked all the stairs, and they'll be kind of impressed. And that's
because whoa, that's an Olympic arena, and
Yeah.
that's about it. That's the
Yeah.
whole, and it's something man-made. I'm not down. Like I didn't find it too interesting. I mean, it was like okay, we did it.
It looked really cool when you drove into town, that you just could see the ramps from the hill. I thought it was kind of cool because you never see that anywhere in the Netherlands.
Well, you're
so,
allowed to think that.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. But other than that, it wasn't very special.
Yeah. So if you go to Lillehammer, you don't have to go there. But if you want to have a view over the whole of Lille, even the view, in my opinion, wasn't that insane. By the way.
No, it wasn't that great.
Because there were trees on your left, trees on your
Yeah.
right, and it was a pretty like linear viewpoint.
Yeah.
It wasn't like super broad, and because the downside is you're looking. Okay, I'm gonna describe it because it's a podcast, so I cannot show it. So Lillehammer is built on a mountain, and you're on the wrong way of the mountain to look over the whole city, because you're on top of the village. You actually look like over the village.
Yeah.
So you only see the first couple of buildings, and the rest you just don't see. So you see a row of buildings, and then the lake, like super rough.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a little bit more, but like that's the TLDR.
There are some buildings on the other side of the lake, and there is, I think there were 2 bridges, one
Mhm.
for pedestrians and then one for cars.
Yeah,
And yeah,
that's it.
that's it. It was cool. It was alright. It was a cool day. And then we went back.
On the way back, I swam, and that was actually so far it has been the best spot to swim. I
Yeah,
think.
it was. It was really cold, but I didn't swim because I didn't bring a spare pair of underwear. So
You don't bring a spare pair of underwear?
No, but I was gonna learn that day.
That sounds like great merchandise actually.
A spare pair.
Just selling spare pair of underwear.
Yeah.
I mean, it even has a perfect name for it.
Mm.
You just bring your spare pair of underwear
Yeah.
everywhere.
But then you would call it a spare pair, or
Of
just spare
a
pair.
spare pair of underwear to bring everywhere.
No, that's too much. I think
Okay.
spare pair will sell rather great. So
Yeah, okay.
we can try to make that a business.
I will.
And
If
we're
I'm
home
like
again.
an actual famous person and not only my close by people
Yeah.
will listen to this. But hey,
That would be cool. Subscription-based underwear.
yeah, like on
Thing.
that ass a little bit, promoting here.
Yeah, you should
My spare
promote
pair?
a brand that hasn't paid you, but
No, okay. Fuck on that ass. Unless you want to sponsor me, then I really like your product. So we went down. I swam there, which was nice and all. We went down to the place where we parked the car.
yeah.
Drove the car to a decent spot at the lake, I would say.
Yeah, it was decent. It's one of those spots where the wind isn't interrupted by anything because it's next to a lake. So
Yeah, that's nice.
whenever you're in the shadow, it's freezing, and whenever the sun is out, it's blazing hot. So it's either or.
Yeah, but it is next to the lake, and you have a view of the lake. So that's
Yeah,
the cool
and I
part.
went swimming there because I didn't go swimming yet, and I wouldn't say that I was quite smelly, but I could use some refreshments. So.
Yeah, you don't really swim to like. It's just to feel a
feel
little bit more
fresher.
fresh.
Yeah.
So that was the day, and the next day we decided to. Well, in the morning we did visit Lillehammer because I wanted to see if the center was okay. That was dead as well.
Yeah, that was the
So-
Sunday morning too.
Yeah, and after that we just decided, okay, you know what? We're going to the Kiwi, which is a supermarket, which was also closed,
Yeah.
and then just leave Lillehammer, right?
Yeah, we wanted
then
to
we left.
leave Lillehammer, and
Did
then
we leave? We didn't come back, right?
Mm,
So
I mean,
I'm gonna take the first part, and you're gonna then follow up.
yeah, I
And
might interrupt
if-
you.
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. So when we left Lillehammer, we first drove up a pretty steep hill, which the Toyota Hiace even though it's a machine of a machine, isn't really made for. So we had some rough patches where like the sign says you can drive 80 and the Toyota Hiace was going up with 30 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
And then Janik had this great idea. Well, we did it once before, but he wanted to do it again at a better place, and it was a good view, to have a longboard video in the front of the van.
Yeah, I mean, we did make longboard videos before all this. So we probably have around 4 times where I went on the longboard and I filmed. Not every time in the car, but we did have some shots from the car and also some shots where I held the cam myself. So we waited until the road got a bit flatter and maybe a little bit of downhill, but not too much.
Well, the downside of going up is it eventually
it goes down again.
it goes down again. So
there's a car
coming, so we will wait a little bit for the car to pass, and it's probably coming back because it's driving toward a dead end, but we'll find it out itself. And there's another car coming.
They'll be disappointed for sure.
Yeah.
They were smiling at us. Yeah.
So we went up. At a certain point, we stopped the car. Janik stepped out of the car, grabbed his longboard, and started longboarding in front of the van.
Yeah, just a bit of cruising.
Yeah, I was driving behind him, but the downside of something that goes down on a longboard is that you go faster.
Yeah,
and faster
and faster.
And faster. So at a certain point, Janik was in front of me, was waving like I'm going way too fast, pointing to the right, and he was going right.
Yeah.
At this point, I was driving behind him, and he was, I think, between 20 or 30 kilometers an hour. I think more than that.
Yeah, kilometers, but
something like, I don't know. I have it on film. If you want to see it somewhere in a vlog, it's probably as well.
Yeah.
And then Janik pointed to the right.
I wanted to make a turn because it was getting way too steep. Like it was getting about twice as steep as it already was. So it would have been deadly dangerous to go any further. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll just take the turn, pick up the longboard, and I'll get in the car and I'll just that would have been it for the day.
Yeah, but from the car I already could see that the place he wanted to go right was filled with gravel.
Yeah, it was gravel, a really rough gravel.
Like a really
with some
rough
like
patch.
Yeah, and then a really rough patch too. We'll probably add a photo in the video itself.
Oh, I do have you do have a photo.
Yeah, so not in this podcast, but in the video. But I do have a photo of how the gravel, how the rough patch looked.
Yeah, and for people that longboard or skateboard, if you hit a rough patch of land and there's too much friction between your wheels, the longboard instantly stops. But the thing is, you're still going the kilometers an hour, so you will get launched off your longboard. So what happened, Janik?
So
you got launched off your longboard.
So my board probably came to a stop within a meter.
Yeah.
So I flew off, and
I
literally flew off, and I fell on my side. So I kind of, for people watching, I fell on my right side, so kind of this way.
Yeah, you flew off, but you're sideways on a longboard, so you came down in the position you were standing.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I fell before on my longboard, because everyone does if you longboard. So you kind of know how to fall, right?
Yeah.
So I did fall quite decently.
Yeah, okay, you got like the places where you're supposed to catch yourself, your arms and your legs, you were like positioned correctly.
I was positioned correctly.
There was a downside though.
The downside was that the sweater that I was wearing, probably because of the motion I made, slid up. So it was just my shirt that I was wearing under it, and that was it. So my stomach... So my sorry, I had a bit of a burp. But my arm was protected, but my stomach wasn't. My abdomen, the side of my abdomen. So I slid over the gravel, which was kind of rough in the first place. I probably slid about 1.5 to 2 meters.
That's really precise, but I don't know. You
slid, I think something like that. The thing is, I had to take my turn sharper too, because there was a car positioned to go on the road again. So it wouldn't have mattered much, but it did make my turn tighter, and I lost my control a bit faster.
Yeah.
So I fell off, slid through the gravel, but because my sweater actually slid up a bit before I fell, there were some stones that cut through my shirt, through my skin. So I stood up and I was feeling kind of sore because
I was sitting in the van and I was asking, "Are you alright?"
Yeah. So
And you said, "Yeah, sure, I'm fine."
Yeah,
so
I'm
stepping
fine.
out of the car to get the alcoholic clean your wound and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started cleaning his elbow where the first scratch was, and it was like a normal scratch. And at a certain point, I turned around to close the bottle, and he's like, "Oh, I think I also have something on my stomach."
Yeah.
And he pulls up his shirt, and there is just like a bite mark, kind of like as if you were attacked by a wolf or something.
It looked really nasty.
And I was cleaning it, and at the point I was cleaning it, and that still stays with me, is at the moment I was pushing to your skin.
Yeah.
I was moving it up with the alcoholic, like on the dippy thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck you call it. So I was moving it up, and then there was like this hole. Well, it's not like a massive one. It's like, how do you say it?
It's
like
like a small hole at the size of like the width
upper
of your
part
the
width of your pinky.
the width of your pinky. Yeah.
But I could see through the hole.
Yeah. And
Which isn't supposed to be able, like on the stomach. It's like not supposed to be see-through. So I could see into his belly, and at that point I was like, "Okay, Janik, don't watch."
yeah. So Bart, with the experience that he has, said, just don't look because it won't make you feel any better if you look.
Yeah, I didn't want to the most important thing for me was to not escalate the situation.
Yeah, and to not panic me. So he said, let's just go to the hospital to see if everything is fine, just in case.
Maybe
it's a foreign country, maybe diseases, whatever.
Because the worst thing
we'll
would
just
be
go check. And we know where the hospital is because we parked there yesterday before we went to the ski jumping arena.
Yeah, because the worst thing, in my opinion, if I was the person that got the wound, I wouldn't want to have the feeling that I still had to sit 45 minutes in a car towards the hospital with a full hole in my belly.
Yeah.
That would be for me personally, I wouldn't like that. I would just have a wound, okay, but the sheer amount of woundness, that's not a word, but you know what I mean, the damage, I wouldn't have liked that. Maybe you would have, but I didn't want to say it at that point to escalate.
It was pretty severe, and Bart said, don't look. But I was already kind of looking.
He looked.
So I actually saw, I saw something. Well, I didn't see anything moving, but I saw that I could look through it, and it probably was some intestine or something that I saw. It was
something like it wasn't.
It looks. It sounds severe. It was severe, but it wasn't a big hole either. So Bart drove me back to the hospital.
We went to in the Netherlands we call it the hub, but it's
hub,
like the emergency
room.
Like if you have something and you want to have it checked fast, you go there and they check it fast.
Yeah.
And either they send you to the hospital or they just do the basic stuff there.
Yeah. So we got there and I filled in some form for my
you sold your soul to the Norwegian.
Yeah, no, they just
Odin and Thor.
They just needed to have some basic information and what else? So we had to wait for a little bit, and then Bart asked if I wanted a drink. So we got a drink called Solo, which is kind of like a Fanta kind of deal.
But the thing is with sodas, if they fall from a vending machine to the bottom of the vending machine and you open them,
and I opened it for the slightest bit, and it shot everywhere in that waiting room, and there was an old man and
was enjoying
a middle-aged woman, and they were both kind of laughing.
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
Yeah, they enjoyed it.
You got picked up by the nurse, and the nurse put you down, and she was checking your elbow, and she was checking your knees, your bones.
Yeah, she was checking my bones and everything. Like, are you feeling fine? And I said, yeah, I'm feeling fine. I have no trouble moving anything. And she just did all sorts of checks, and she checked my hands because she maybe can see is a bit of a scrape on there, and I can't show it right now, but there's a bit of a scrape here too. So she was checking those out.
And we several times said to her, like, yo,
we're not here for the scrapes. We're here for what's on my abdomen.
On his abdomen.
And she said, okay, wait, but I'll first check these. And so she took her time to check him, which is great because I was really grateful that
you got your shot in.
Yeah, so she immediately said, like, you fell on the road, so it's a good idea to get a tetanus shot if you didn't have that one. And tetanus is probably the one that you get with your 9-year.
If you shot me dead, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I got that one, so they gave me a new tetanus shot. Which is something that you can get from like street rubble or anything like that. I don't know how it works, but for any at doctors in there.
Yeah.
You know
Just
what's up.
fill us in if you want to, but we don't know. He got a shot
it in the comments.
before she checked.
Before
the
she
thing
checked
we
my
came
abdomen
for.
too. Yeah, that's the funny part. And then I said, because I was probably downplaying it a bit, because I said it doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, I think that's the
The thing is,
you should have been screaming when you went in there.
yeah, but I wasn't feeling any pain. So when the accident happened, Bart said this might hurt a little bit with like a hanky with some.
I think you just cut all your nerves there. You fucked it. It can't be anything else.
Yeah, I probably
damaged
destroyed.
something.
I probably
Yeah.
destroyed some nerves or anything because I wasn't feeling. I wasn't feeling any pain. Like it felt sore because I just fell, but wasn't feeling any pain. So yeah, and adrenaline and endorphins probably too. But I probably damaged some nerves too.
Yeah.
So Bart said this might hurt with like a handkerchief
It didn't hurt.
with what is it called, disinfection stuff.
Yes, that.
And he rubbed it over, and I was like, this is gonna hurt like hell. And I was just prepared, and it didn't hurt at all. So I was like, okay, cool, that's over.
Yeah. But back to the hospital.
Back to the hospital. They were kind of with gloves, of course. They were kind of poking at it and see if it started bleeding or.
Well, the
anything.
funniest thing was, I think we had 4 or 5 nurses, and they all did the same. So they looked at it. They came closer to check it, then saw the hole, then had that insanely like surprise, like,
Yeah, like.
are you
eyes-
not in pain?
Eyes wide open. They weren't. I think a few of them asked like, "How are you not in pain right now?"
You have to go to hospital.
Yeah, and then like not even a minute later, it was already clear that I just needed to go to the hospital, which was in the same building. So that
but
was cool.
to be sure, so there was this random guy walking around with shorts, normal look, just like casual
a plain
t-shirt.
Yeah. He apparently was a doctor.
with like a skull, like from the what's it? It looked like the shirt from a football club with a skull on it and a cap. Doesn't matter. I'm going off point. But they asked that guy to come in, and apparently he was a doctor. So he checked, he looked. Yeah, he go to hospital.
Yeah, you should probably go to hospital. It will be fine. You should probably go to the hospital
For clean and
for
we
clean
check.
and we check. Yeah.
So we went to the
You
hospital.
will be fine. It's not dangerous.
Yeah. So they got a wheelchair. They put Janik in a wheelchair. We were driving the wheelchair towards the elevator that went up to the hospital, and then the nurse stopped and said, "Oh wait, you have to pay first." Turned around, drove Janik to a
payment terminal,
which is in front of the hospital, kind of.
It was so surreal. It was
And
kind
then
of funny.
you had to pay $50 before you were able to enter the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
why is that like that?
I think it wasn't payment for the hospital. I think it was payment for the emergency room.
Yeah.
And I still haven't received anything from the hospital yet. So I will have to experience that. But maybe is what one of the nurses said is that it won't cost me anything, but it depends. So I'm gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
Anyway, that nurse was so pretty though. She was so.
All the good-looking women from Lillehammer were working.
Yeah. So oh my
in
god.
the hospital. But besides
amazing.
that,
And so nice too. Like
especially nice. Her soul was perfect, but she was looking great as well.
she was looking
But
so great.
That's beside the point.
And we made some jokes with the nurses too. Like there were 4 nurses there, but I think they were laughing too at each other because the way I was just chilling there with a hole in my stomach.
With a hole in your stomach. Yeah. But
Yeah.
we went up to the hospital. They
Yeah.
checked you several times. There came 6 people that were asking the exact same questions.
Yeah,
which was, in my opinion, that's super annoying. But
I
you
didn't find it annoying because
I find it super annoying. Like the first girl came in, asked the same questions.
I
Then the other one came in, same questions. Hello, the next one. Hello, I'm doctor this and this. Have you done this? Same questions. And
we
then
had,
the
we
guy
had
came
multiple
in, same
doctors
question.
coming in, like anesthesists. I don't know how you call them. People that perform anesthesia.
Mhm.
We had some doctor specialized in wounds. We had someone coming in for antibiotics. And yeah, I got asked the same questions over and over again. But the main questions were: are you allergic to anything? What antibiotics can you use? And
Are you in pain?
Are you in pain? That was a classic one.
Cheers.
I think there was another one, but
But the TLDR of the situation was, the thing they wanted to do was to check whether or not a stone could have gone into his stomach.
yeah,
Because the hole they were
very
thinking,
likely.
Yeah, the hole they were thinking was because a stone shoved into his stomach.
Yeah,
So what they wanted to do, they wanted to put him completely under, Then they wanted to clean the wounds and at the same time check whether or not the hole had a stone in it or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think that's the TLDR. And they said, when was the last time you'd eaten? Because you have to be sober. I don't know what's called. Like you're not allowed to eat
You're
or
not
drink.
allowed to eat or drink anything 6 hours before
Yeah.
our surgery. So.
But we ate in the morning, so we had to wait for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that waiting a little bit turned into...
Well, we had to wait a little bit because the anesthesists
was also busy.
Yeah, they were busy. So they had planned surgeries on Sunday. So we were waiting. And waiting, and then I got a new bed.
And then we waited a little bit more.
A new room upstairs. We met some new nurses too. One was from Spain.
Yeah.
Shout outs to Alicia. And shout outs to Yannicke, who was the older one, and she was really, really nice.
That's also, by the way, a thing. While we were up in the new room on your new bed, Janik came in, which was the oldest nurse.
Yeah.
And somebody had already, for the antibiotics, had put a needle into like the hole in his elbow. I don't know what's called.
Oh yeah.
Is it called the L hole? I don't know what's called. Like the elbow hole. Okay. But there was the thing, and she applied the antibiotics, and Janik was sitting there, and he said to me, "Okay, Bart, this is hurting."
Yeah, this is actually hurting. Like I was in pain, but what actually ended up I was
okay. Let's
worried
make it
at
worse first
because I know that I'm allergic to a certain type of antibiotic.
Yeah.
And we called my parents about it because they know exactly which one it is and I didn't know. So I was worried that they gave me the wrong antibiotics and that I was getting an allergic reaction
because
to
what
that.
was happening, there was a
bulge
forming,
swelling up in my arm.
Where the antibiotics were pushed in.
So I asked Bart, like, yo, can you get her back for a second? Because she walked off as she put in.
Hey, woman! Get on with it!
To make sure if anyone here knows about procedures like this, she did put in salt water first to check if it would go correctly.
Yeah, but I don't think the amount of salt water she used was enough.
Was enough to check whether it worked.
And Alicia said, I know, like, oh, it's this happening.
Yeah.
But that's... So she came back and it was wrong because what was happening was the antibiotics weren't pushed into his blood veins, but they were pushed
under my skin.
Under his skin.
Yeah.
So the bump of antibiotics was antibiotics that were just a bump of shit under your skin.
Yeah, just a bump of like liquid, and it hurt really, really bad. So I said to Bart, this is the first time today that I'm actually in pain.
Yeah.
And it was only for a couple of minutes. She came back. She concluded really fast that the needle broke, so that was all fine. Antibiotics were great; they worked perfectly fine.
Well, she couldn't find your blood vessels. Then our Spanish girl came in and she did find your veins.
The thing is, she was the more experienced nurse, but
Janik. So the non-Spanish one was the more experienced.
No. Because I asked Alicia, are
Janik was the most experienced.
Yannicke was the most experienced. Yeah. So, which is funny because she tried to find my veins 3 times and she couldn't get it, and she was getting annoyed at herself. And I just told her, like, just calm down, it's fine. I don't worry about anything. It's all good. And she was just getting annoyed with herself because she said, this is the easiest thing and I can't get this. Yeah. And then she said, okay, I'll just ask Alicia because I'm getting frustrated. And she wasn't getting frustrated at me, just at herself.
I was getting frustrated at Janik for falling off his longboard. That's a joke.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
He was really, really chill. So then Alicia came in and she patched me up and it was all good. So that was great.
Good,
and then we had to wait for another
long time again.
5 hours or something. I watched Formula 1 on Bart's phone. Thanks, Bart. That was really, really awesome.
I like Viaplay. I've paid for the streaming service
fixed so that I could watch Formula 1.
Yeah,
while I was kind of spacing out on painkillers and antibiotics.
You are slightly spacing
I was kind of spacing out already.
But we waited at a certain point. You got called to get out of the room. It was past, which was annoying in my opinion. So I wasn't allowed actually to be up there at all.
Yeah.
But because I just walked with you, nobody said I should go.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, when you went to the room, at that point, she said to me, okay, but now you have to wait in the other room.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like visiting hours.
Visiting hours, yeah.
So Janik was gone for a little bit. That only took like an hour. Can you tell a little bit about your trip?
Yeah, so it was about 7:30. And remember, we came in the hospital at 12.
Earlier.
So
I think earlier. But sure, 12. Let's say 12. I think
Yeah,
it was earlier. Yeah, it was 12. I'm not
well,
sure.
the hospital 12. We came in the emergency room.
I believe
earlier.
you completely.
I think
but-
around that time. And so we had essentially waited for around 8 hours. Well, with the checkups and everything in between.
Mhm.
So I had to go
Continue.
in anesthesia. What are you gonna do?
I'm just checking because we have 3 more great stories. So that's the
Yeah, so
That's the
we're gonna
downside
round
of
this
the-
one up. So basically, I went under anesthesia. They cleaned the wound while I
you were
was
tripping
sleeping.
balls.
Yeah, so I remember before falling asleep that I heard because there were about 4 people in the surgery room, and I heard one of the guys saying
Ketamine.
something ketamine. So I probably had some kind of ketamine trip, and
If that's a thing, but we're still we're not doctors.
it definitely is because
Okay, you was
I've looked it up,
spacing it.
and it definitely was ketamine that I had. And I'm not gonna go into detail, but it was a wonderful experience. It was actually amazing. So I woke up Norwegian. I told Bart last week before the accident even that Norwegian to me, the language, sounds really alien. And then
Yeah.
there is me in a hospital waking up from like some kind of drug trip. Yeah, hearing ladies and men talking in this alien language, and it felt really surreal and strange. But I was doing fine, really fast.
Well,
I
you were
was a bit
spacing.
hazy.
You were
I was-
super hazy.
I was super hazy.
So you came into the room again. I saw you. I followed you. We spoke for a little bit. I said, just try to sleep at least.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to find food because I was hungry, and I thought if I had food that would be fine. But then Janik told me that if I go out of the hospital now, there's no way for me to get back in.
Yeah.
So I went out anyway. Then I got pizza, and I just followed another nurse who went into the hospital. Waited for her to like walk away from the opening doors.
Yeah.
So last minute I put my hand in there, then it opened again.
Yeah, he slipped.
Then kind of like
He slipped in.
followed her semi through hallways where she opened doors. Then I found the elevator I had to go through, took the elevator up, and then I was back in the room.
It's kind of a miracle that he was back. It was really cool. They wouldn't let me leave the hospital before
pissed.
I peed or pooed, either or both. I don't
Because
even know.
the anesthesia can affect your bladder, so they just wanted
Yeah,
to
that's
check
that's
that.
what I looked up, especially for ketamine. It can kind of influence how your bladder works. So she wanted to check that. I didn't have to pee because I peed before the.
So she checked your bladder.
Yeah, so she checked my bladder and that was it. And then Bart said like, okay, I think you're fine. Let's
She
just
wanted
leave.
to keep him for a night. I said to her, no, let's just leave in case he has to pay everything. A
Yeah.
night at the hospital might be super expensive. So we just talked about it, and you said like, I'm feeling fine. Let's just leave.
I was
we
feeling
decided-
fine all day.
We decided to stay another day at least near Lillehammer,
Yeah.
just in case I don't know, an alien came out or whatever. We could go back to the hospital with a 10-minute
Yeah,
drive.
we even got the number of the ward, so we could just call
Yeah.
back if anything happened, which was really, really nice. I even made sure to thank the nurses up in the ward that I was at before we left, and to also kind of say like, yo, I'm going, thanks for everything. And I want to say, I am saying that I was chill all day, but there was a point where I had to leave my bed, and that's when everything kind of wore out, like the adrenaline, the endorphins, everything. I stood up and I told Bart, ooh, that's spicy. I felt a lot of pain in my side, so I stayed in bed the rest of the time, and I had a pee once, really, really carefully.
Yeah.
But no blood in the pee, so that's great. So yeah,
That's the
that
hospital
was
longboarding
an
accident.
extreme experience, and it was that was the whole Sunday. So
Yeah. Okay, and
Woke
then
up,
we're going
hospital,
into the next one,
and
I
then
think,
sleep.
as fast as possible.
yeah.
After this, we did it super calm. The next couple of days,
Yeah.
because well, there's a hole in the stomach, so we went carefully, and at a certain point we were near a village which is called
Ornes.
Ornes.
Yeah.
Where we stood at a camping, and at a certain point we needed to remove and reattach new bandages.
Yeah,
But the only thing
compress.
I had left were duct tape. So Janik said, okay, that's cool, just do it for now, and then tomorrow we're going to a pharmacy,
Yeah.
and we're gonna get it, what's it called?
A new compress.
Yeah, we're gonna find a new compress, new bandaging material,
Yeah.
and we're gonna ask what I said. Maybe then just ask if they want to do it as well, to like put it on your stomach.
Yeah,
because
so
I'm not a doctor.
Side note, the angels at the hospital actually gave us free compresses and
Yeah.
bandages to reapply because they knew that I was here for another week on vacation, and
Mhm.
they were fine with me being here for a week. So
They didn't want you gone yet.
yeah, they didn't want me to go home yet.
We need more of the tourist money.
But they didn't give anything to stick the bandage
no,
or
so
stick
that was
the
duct tape
compress.
for us.
Yeah. So we used duct tape, and that let loose rather
Quickly.
soon. Yeah.
So the day after I attached it with duct tape, we went to Arnes, the village, and we went to a pharmacy. The first pharmacy we went to, we explained what the wound was. We showed a picture of the wound.
Yeah.
The guy grabbed some stuff, came back to you, and then you asked, but can you maybe apply it as well?
Yeah.
And then he was like,
It was kind of a stretch, but I really wanted to ask it.
so he said, no,
We don't do that, but
there's another pharmacy which is 100 meters from here.
yeah.
There works a nurse, and she has the equipment and can help you there. So it was already weird to me that a pharmacy would send you to another pharmacy to get your stuff.
He didn't
fixed.
even say she has the equipment. He said she can help you reapply the bandage with the stuff that you bought here.
Mm-hmm.
So I already thought like that's kind of weird that I'm buying stuff here if they have stuff there, and
Yeah.
they reapply. So essentially we should have just gone to the other store,
Yeah,
but
but we
we
didn't
already
know the
we
other
already
store
got
was-
sold the.
So we already got
materials.
scammed. So we went to the other store. Janie came to the desk, and the first thing was that he was getting scolded for buying the more expensive stuff while
Yeah,
they had it
it was-
half price.
Was this wee
in
old
their
lady
store, yeah.
saying?
We old lady.
Yeah, no, she was great. She said, "Oh, why did you buy it there? We sell it here for half price." Blah 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 blah. And then she was asking about us, where we were from, and she pointed me towards the back. She spoke English,
Yeah.
which was rather surprising.
Yeah, one of the few.
Um,
Not that well, but it was good enough.
Yeah, and,
And
she
then-
just started taking care of me. Like
Yeah. As soon as she removed the bandaging and she saw the wound, she was like, "Okay, this is serious."
yeah,
Car coming. This is serious.
it's looking good, but it's serious. So
Yeah. So she just went ham. First of all, the stuff we had bought wasn't good enough.
no,
So she went back to her store, of course, grabbed new bandaging stuff, also grabbed some honey cream, which improves the healing of the wound,
yeah,
and start applying it to Janik. So I was already telling Janik, yeah, of course, she also has to like get a bit of the buck, you know?
Yeah.
So when she was done with Janik, we went to the desk, and Janik was standing there, with his like credit card ready. And then she said, "No,
no,
you don't pay.
no payment, no."
No pay."
She was insisting that I didn't pay.
Yeah, keep in mind, we also just got the creme, the bandaging,
The bandaging
plus some
she-
cleaning stuff.
Yeah, so she got me an extra bottle of what is it called? Disinfection stuff.
Yeah, the
She-
bandaging,
bandaging.
the honey cream.
I said that one already, and then we had the.
Did you say the
like
honey
extra,
cream?
the extra tape,
Did you say the honey cream?
the honey cream,
Ah,
and she got us a lot, basically.
yeah. And she just refused Janie to pay. One of her coworkers also said, yes, she's like our local Mother Teresa, which I found funny.
Wasn't that herself?
Could be.
I
That would
think,
be
she said it
egotistical.
herself, but
Okay, that would be egotistical. Just let's keep it like story-wise that somebody else
no,
said.
because I'm sure that she said it herself, but
Could
it
be.
was more
Okay.
like a joke than anything else. But
But she was great. Let's just keep one
Amazing.
thing first. She was amazing, and the whole experience that you just been to, like, because it's also like a store I would personally never go into, because it was like kind of the AliExpress stores we have in the Netherlands,
yeah,
where people just buy shit from AliExpress and then sell it.
yeah,
But just the whole experience, and then after all, she just gave everything for free with like, "I'm just glad I can help."
yeah.
That was like,
The nicest person.
yeah, perfect. That's a 10 out of 10 experience, and that makes like a holiday, just a poor man's holiday, a tad bit better.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole experience, just everyone being so nice in the hospital, and then, Bart just being there too was really, really
me.
great.
Got your back, baby.
And then the lady in Ornis was just
Yeah, that
amazing. Cherry on top.
Then after that we got pizza, and in the pizza store a lady told us that there is a train going to Oslo. We already drove to Oslo before going to Ornes, but in Oslo every camping was full. So when the lady told us, we told that story to the lady that Oslo was full, the campings at least. And then she said, oh, but there's a train going. So the day after that we went on the train to Oslo. We gotta hurry up a bit. It sounds dumb. I'm gonna check the time because the memory card at a certain amount it can still film, which is 1 hour and 10 minutes.
All right.
So I'm just checking. So we're on 40 minutes. So I think if we just go into this story, talk a bit about Oslo, then it's perfect.
Yeah, then we're already getting caught up to today. So.
Yeah.
The reason why we're going so fast is because we essentially stayed 2 to 3 days at the same camping, just kind of chilling, reading.
We just went. Okay, the first 2 days were just going from Lillehammer.
Yeah.
Another day. Then we went to a wild camping spot in the middle.
Yeah.
We just woke up there and went driving to Oslo and then to Ornes because we just needed to chill because Janik, well, you could walk, but you walked super slow. You still do.
Yeah.
But it's just like you're not. We can't do anything. It sounds dumb. Swimming we cannot do. Hiking we cannot do. And in Norway, those are the 2 things you can do as a tourist.
Yeah.
So that's why we're just skipping through some days. But the day after the pharmacy story, we went with the train to Oslo,
which is today.
Yeah, and this is where my story starts. Finally, I'm the subject of the story. So, we went on the train here. Yeah, we sat down, and there was on our right, there was this hunk of a man, like Mr.
Absolute
Muscle,
Chad.
a mega Chad. So he wasn't old or something. He was just like a young guy. I would say if you see him, you would say 26, 27, yeah. But he was just massively built.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not like the
lazing over the chairs too, with his feet on the other chair. And if you do that in the Netherlands, you'll get scolded really, really bad.
True. But he was sitting there, and we had a short conversation. He was first checking for us because he knew he was keeping up 4 spots. So he was checking around the train if there was something else for us to go to. And he said, and we were saying, no, we're fine. So at a certain point, we're sitting there, and he was asking us, or he asked us, if we wanted, I keep forgetting, snooze?
Snooze, yeah.
Snooze, which is like semi-pure nicotine, and you put it in your upper lip, and then it gives you kind of a high.
Yeah, so for any Americans listening, if there are any, it's dip, what you call.
For the
If it fits your lip, fill it with dip. It's basically like a small sachet of some nicotine combination with like whatever flavor is in it and something else, and you just fill it in the inside of your lip, like between your teeth and your lip.
Yeah. So this random guy on the train offered us a bag of snus.
It sounds really shady now, but he was actually really genuine, really nice. He was interested in us as travelers.
Yeah, so it wasn't like a sketchy guy. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there, and there's one thing my father always told me is when a stranger on the train gives you something, always accept it and put it in your mouth. So this is what I did. Sorry, my dad, my mom, whoever, you're disappointed, I know, but I accepted it and put the snooze in my upper
because
lip.
Bart was actually excited to like get something from this guy that we were talking with.
Well, that sounds super weird. But it sounds excited. But
it sounds weird, but it was more of a kind of a hospitality thing where he was like, "Oh,
you want chewing gum?
We're having a nice conversation. I have something to offer for you. Like just something to keep the conversation going, and I don't know."
Yeah. So he gave it to me. And the thing I'm thinking, okay, I'm not digesting it. Yeah. I'm not sniffing it.
Yeah.
I'm not smoking it.
Yeah.
It's just in my mouth. So how bad can it be?
And he also said like, it just makes you a bit calmer, and
he said like, I'm super calm by it. I am using it now, and he was just
I've offered some to my friends, and this is what my friends experience, and he was really nice about it. I was actually considering too, but because I have my hole in my stomach, my wound, I just don't want to do anything that I don't know.
Which
just
imagine you knowing the end of the story. If you went through the same shit I was, especially on the toilet, then that hole
I would have died.
Oof. So I was sitting there, I wasn't feeling anything, and at a certain point It was like, okay, for my experience, and maybe for people that listening, first of all, never do drugs, yada, yada, yada. I don't advise it. If you do it in a safe
By the way,
space, blah, blah, blah.
This is not drugs. It's just a nicotine
It's
high.
legal. Yeah, so that's why I was as well, like, it cannot be that bad. If
Yeah.
it's legal in Norway.
Yeah.
So, I was just, the feeling was, if you ever done weed, don't do weed, kids. The feeling was like you're instantly super high, like instant, for me at least.
Yeah.
So first I was vibing, and then at a certain point, the vibing in combination with the train got insane nausea. So I was already looking at the toilet, but the toilet was in use. So at that point, I was like, fuck. So I told you guys, I need to go to the toilet, but somebody's on the toilet. So I knocked as well on the toilet.
I knew what was going on
No
because
reaction.
I could see it by the way he moved and by the way he reacted. Because at first he got really, really calm. And that's kind of strange for Bart to get super, super calm out of nowhere. And then suddenly he said like, Jane, can you fold out the chair? Because it already stairs in the trains that you need to fold out. Can you fold them this?
But at that point I was feeling nice when I was wanting to sit for long.
Yeah.
And at a certain point I removed my feet from there because I started to notice I was dizzy as fuck.
Yeah.
Keep in mind I already removed the piece of snooze or whatever and threw it out because I was noticing it wasn't going well. The toilet was taken. I felt that something needed to go out the wrong way. So I needed to vomit. The one toilet was taken. I asked the conductor, I asked, yo, is there another toilet? She pointed to something else. I think I did 2 or 3 steps. And at that point, I just projectile vomited over my shirt, in my hand, a big part of it, and on the floor.
In the hallway of the train.
In the hallway of the train. So imagine I'm just standing there, handful of vomit, shirts under the vomit, everything. I'm smelling like shit. And I'm feeling like shit. The conductor kind of stressed, are you okay? I'm going to grab something. Speak to you in a bit. That's not our voice, but whatever. She went off the train stopped at the stopping point station. She went about. I was like, okay, I'm just standing here with my vomit. So I'm just gonna keep on walking to the other toilet. The other toilet was also taking. At that point, the conductor came on to the train again. At the same point, I was standing with my vomit. She said, just go to the other one. And we moved back to where you and the guy were sitting. The guy was saying nonstop.
He was feeling so bad. So I was just socializing with him, and we were talking about his work, and So we were just socializing, talking about stuff. He was working as an immigrant worker, so he helped out people that got from outside and had like make sure that their family was safe and everything and stuff like that. So a really humble man too.
So he was nice overall.
He was actually really nice.
He was feeling super guilty about me.
I think in the whole conversation he said 5 times, like, I feel so bad about your friend, and I just told him like, please don't feel bad about him because I know that he doesn't want you to feel bad. Yeah, and also
at that point,
he accepted it. So you know.
Yeah, so that's not. I'm never blame something. If you accept it, then it's your fault from that point on. Yeah. Except when it's hidden in there, then it's something else. But I came back with my hand full of vomit. A random passenger from the train came to me with a vomiting bag, with wipes as well.
Yeah.
At that point, somebody else also wanted to go to the toilet. Was standing in front of the toilet I actually wanted to go to. The first guy came off the toilet, and now it's getting nasty. So if you're eating, if it's not already out, just stop eating or wait with the podcast for a bit. I went in front of the other guy. You said to the other guy, like, oh, hold on, can he go first? He saw me standing there with my vomit in my hand and my shirt under the, covered with cots. Dutch in there.
You can say barf.
Going to the toilet. The guy that was sitting there at least sat there for an insane long amount of time.
Over 20 minutes for sure.
Yeah, and the state the toilet was in explained why he was sitting there so long. Because this toilet was covered in shit, just still sticking to the edges of the, like, not the toilet seat, but inside the toilet. So there I was, hand vomit. I sat on my knees with my nose almost like inside of his like shit toilet.
Yeah.
Projectile vomiting into the toilet. Imagine that there is still another guy outside of the toilet that wants to go in, and the only thing he hears is That sound?
That was the actual sound. So I was still talking with the guy and socializing, and we just heard him just puking.
Just puking.
Puking rays of barf. But yeah.
So, and the thing is, there's not... the thing is, we also don't eat that much. So,
Yeah.
the downside of vomiting is when there's nothing to go out, it just hurts and you're like... your
So
stomach
dry
just
heaving.
Like, yeah.
Dry heaving.
So I felt like shit, but at least I washed my clothing. I was wearing a tank top underneath my shirt, which, God bless, I was wearing a tank top.
Yeah.
I removed my shirt, put my shirt in one of the clean vomiting bags the other guy gave to me, washed my face, washed my arm, washed everything, made me feel a bit better.
Yeah, he was looking really pale, however.
Yeah, so I came out, I was feeling pale, and I was just staring in front of me. I was making like some jokes because, in my opinion, if you're feeling shit, the best way to handle it, just try to make light of the situation.
Okay, yeah.
No, not try to act like everything is okay. You're fine with showing that you're feeling like shit, but for yourself, make light of the situation. You can make fun about it. You can make jokes, because just pity yourself doesn't help the situation at all.
And I think the guy was feeling a little bit better too when
Yeah.
he saw you coming back, and he saw that you were already having a bit more color in your face before you went to the toilet. And we were talking about what to do in Oslo too, because he was living there.
And he gave him some nice tips.
Yeah, he gave us some good tips about where to go in Oslo.
Wagner Park, which was nice.
Frogner Park was amazing, yeah.
Yeah, then we went to the beach side and the Opera House. Opera House, he also advised. The beach, we didn't, but the lady did. The conductor also gave tips to where to go. Because so the overall experience was super nice. One thing to add to the story, which amazes me as well as you, is the conductor said in Norway we have one rule: is if a passenger on the train is sick, she has to take care of it. So the train stays at a station, however long it needs to, until the passenger has gotten the help he needed. So if an ambulance would have called, she said, we would have stopped the train and we would have waited until the ambulance was here to help you, because we're not going to leave you at a station sick. In the Netherlands, they throw you off boards, say good luck and have fun, and they just drive through because they have a time schedule.
One thing to add is that she didn't specifically say that it's a rule in Norway.
Okay, yeah.
She said, I'm not gonna continue the train if you're still feeling bad. We're gonna stop the train at the next station until you get the help that you need. And that was actually kind of amazing to hear. So that was really cool. And the thing was, it was just that he was feeling nauseous, but she didn't know. It's fine.
Yeah.
She didn't know what was going on, and we didn't tell her that he tried snooze. So we just played it down by like, oh, he has a bit of travel illness, so it's all fine. Just you don't have to call an ambulance, because she was offering calling an ambulance. That would have been a total waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, that's Bart's vomiting in the train store.
So I normally I would be kind of like, okay, sure, but I knew what had happened, and I was already denying before I heard you denying the ambulance. Like, please don't call the ambulance.
I'm like, it's just my own dumb mistake. So don't take up time from people.
It's gonna be a total waste.
Yeah. But that was it. I think super short Oslo, and then I have 2 questions for you. Oslo, give a super short TLDR.
Oslo was cool. It depends on where you go though, because like the center of Oslo is just the center of any big city, and that kind of depresses me whenever I'm in a big city like that. So, but the beach side was kind of cool to the experience.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Oh, you're putting on the microphone, I think, but it wasn't putting on the microphone.
No,
I was just checking that.
No. So the beach side was really cool. Frogner Park was really cool. A really well maintained park. Nice grass bits and some cool statues that you can look at.
With a lot of dicks, tits.
Yeah, a lot of nudity there. From the statues, not from the people.
No, the people are.
Although there were some people in swimwear, so.
But yeah, that's a TLDR of...
Oslo was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's
rated
nice
on the
experience.
cities?
I wouldn't have gone back.
Rated on the cities?
I think Gothenburg was cooler.
Yeah?
It just had a more of a local feel, I guess, and it had more of an interesting...
I personally prefer Oslo than Gothenburg than Copenhagen. Even though Copenhagen, I think I would put Copenhagen in front of Gothenburg, actually. And thinking about it, because I think just Copenhagen, we also went at a boring time, and it was just bigger. And Gothenburg, I think the bit we walked through was the only interesting bit about Gothenburg.
Oslo is probably better, but I just need I think I need some extra time in Oslo to really judge that, because I haven't seen a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
Hey, you're free to put Gothenburg first. That's like your Gothenburg stand.
Yeah. I like Gothenburg over Copenhagen for sure.
Yeah. Finland, we've watched it. Can you give it a
Vinland
0 out of
Saga.
10? Just fast, 0 out of 10.
We didn't watch it all. It's probably a
So far?
7 out of 10 for me.
Okay, well that's your wrong opinion.
It's just not really my thing, but I really enjoy watching it together. So
okay,
that's
perfect.
cool.
That's cute. We lay on each other. Then after that, last podcast I also asked you the same question. Now you're 2 weeks in. What's something you miss? Just traveling, because you told me already that this is not something you could do for a long time.
Yeah.
What about it is it that makes it so you cannot do it for a long time?
So I'm a person that really likes my own space quite a bit, and I need some time away from all the impulses that I get. And sometimes when you're on the road a lot, you just don't get a full day to yourself, and I think that's something I really miss from home.
And is it camping then not enough?
I mean, the camping was good, but we had to stay at the camping because I was wounded. So if I wasn't wounded, we probably would have stayed at the same place for 2 days at most.
Okay.
So
And we also asked, which is something that annoys you? That's a habit of mine. I think that's also interesting.
Something that annoys me for sure is that you constantly ask where everything is, and you kind of stress yourself out, which stresses me out. So for instance, today we were on the road and we just came out of Oslo and we were driving, and Bart just asked out of nowhere, where's my backpack?
Where's my bag?
Yeah, just out of nowhere, and the backpack was probably just in the back.
It was just in the back.
I can't, because of the wound on the side of my abdomen, I can't look all the way over, and I already have kind of a fragile neck. Well, not fragile, but my neck tends to hurt if I turn it too far.
And the funny thing is, I know it's in the back.
Yeah,
like in the back of my head, I know, but I just want to double check it.
Yeah, so I checked
father.
out of the reflection of my phone into the back if it was there. I thought that I saw it, so I said, oh, it's probably just right behind me. I think I see it. And then he pulled over the car anyway. But it's not just the backpack, it's just
everything.
Where's my keys? Where is my phone? Where is the power bank? Where is this? Where is that? And we do have designated places for stuff to put in. And then, for instance, I asked where some food-related thing was, and it wasn't in the food-related things. And that didn't annoy me, but it's like, why do we have those spaces if it's not in there?
If you're gonna put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that's something I gotta work on then.
Yeah, I think so.
So
just being a bit more consistent.
Okay, consistent or asking? You can choose one of them.
Consistent.
Okay.
Because if you are consistent, you don't have to ask.
True. Because right now I don't ask anymore where my keys are in the evening, because I know now they're in the correct space.
Oh, and one thing that I really missed after 2 weeks is something that I can say for sure is meat. So we haven't eaten a lot of meat, and I really started to crave some meat, especially when we woke up one day at the camping and someone was grilling bacon.
Ooh, that's...
And we opened the door and we got that bacon whiff.
Ooh. Well, there was just a couple of guys, 2 guys on the camping, where just every morning, at least the 2 mornings we were there, so that's an incredible, perfect amount to base your research on, but they were just barbecuing.
Yeah, barbecuing, putting on the grill.
And this morning, it was even for me, so I'm somebody that eats meat a lot as well.
Yeah.
So I'm known as the meat guy from the family. But I'm fine actually with not eating meat. Yeah. But at that point, when the whiff of bacon came into the car, I was like... And then you said, ooh, what's that, Bart? I'm like, that's bacon.
Yeah.
It smells okay. And we were eating our... Okay, let's be nice to Norwegian people, but the bread is still as fuck.
Yeah, the bread is
compared to the other breads we had. Yeah. This bread is still, but it's payable. It's €3 for a bread, which is about $3, which is but that's still expensive as all hell. But it's the most affordable bread there is. Yeah. And this bread, man, I think if you throw it against a window, it breaks.
According to one of the nurses, the bread prices are through the roof more than ever now. So
but that's everywhere because of the Ukraine shit.
Yeah, but like a bread like €4.50 or something like that.
Yeah,
And
keep in mind, this is like cheapo.
Yeah, and we got the cheap one.
That's €3 already.
Yeah, we also saw a leek, just a leek, for €5. You'll get those for like probably around
80 cents?
not more than 60 cents.
80 cents.
80 cents, yeah.
Something like that. So, but that's just the price of all. For example, this morning, we went to the supermarket and we got cookies, just like home brand cookies, nothing on there, just
digestive biscuits.
Biscuits.
Yeah.
We got 2 pots of like yogurt, Greek yogurt,
2 cups of yogurt, yeah,
and a piece of bread. So that's it. Just close your eyes, keep it in mind. Guess by yourself. Yeah.
2 cups of yogurt and
cookies.
Sorry?
And cookies.
And biscuits, yeah.
Yeah. So close your eyes, imagine a price tag, and the price tag is €10.
€10.
Which is
what would it have been in the Netherlands? Probably around 150 for the biscuits.
Yeah, 150 for the bread.
150 for the bread, and then
80 cents or €1 for the yogurt. So
I think
€1
for the yogurt, so it would be around 450. Yeah.
And it's just double.
Insane.
It's just double.
We enjoyed it though.
Yeah. Is there anything else? Because you're going home tomorrow. You want to share with the people?
Norway, the hospitality in Norway is insane. But if you go into the big cities, we've actually got told that today by the guy who offered snus, is that the bigger the city is, the more people kind of tend to keep to themselves. And that's why he didn't like the big cities as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, people in Norway are actually really, really helpful.
I think if you break through their Nordic shell,
yeah,
as soon as you start a conversation, they're really willing to have a conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But you gotta be able to break through and grab their interest somehow.
Yeah.
Because as soon as we ask for help and they're willing to give us help, they are really, even the lady at the bus stop where we asked, like, the train ticket machine is broke, she just kept on giving us help about how she talked about the app, the price it was, the time it took, where to take it, when to take it. It leaves stuff like that. As soon as they start talking, they are really willing to help.
Yeah.
And it's not an annoying amount of help. It's just like
they want to make sure that you're good to go.
Yeah. But
100%.
if you're just walking around and warning people about something, you just gotta like grab their interest somehow, because they're not hearing you. They're not listening when they're just walking. So they need to grab the full.
You need to grab their attention.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, I think we're gonna call that podcast quits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rate your total vacation 1 out of 10. Short, do it fast.
It's 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10, baby. We take those. If you want to go on holiday with Bart, just text me through Instagram or whatever. We didn't promote.
Send an email to Bart's organization, which is bartbart@organization.com.
Doesn't exist. Follow us on Instagram. Janik doesn't have Instagram.
I don't have.
So Janik,
I have YouTube though.
Yeah, drop it fast. Time's running out.
YouTube.com/YADW43. Or just look at Janik.
Yeah,
find
for
Janik.
all your speedrunning stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. Cheers, mates, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day a lot. Bye.